Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News, a weekly BMX news show that I do live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. With that being said, we talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. There's a lot of people in the chat right now who are chatting about how cold it is where they're at. So before we get into the news, shout out to everybody in the chat and people talking about how cold it is. Travis Kier, it's like 10 degrees in Kansas City. Old Fat Guy BMX, Dennis Hornbeck's in here. Travis, 7 degrees in Aurora. We got a cool 22 where I'm at right now. That being said, let's get into talking about the news this week. First up, from the title of this video, BMX's first sponsored non-binary rider. I butchered saying that title. Benny Gonzalez is now on Subrosa and Shadow, and I wanted to talk about this first because I kind of wanted to talk about the I'm not sure the word I'm looking for here, but there's a lot of people talking about this, and when something like this happens, it says right here, this week marks a milestone moment in BMX as Subrosa and the Shadow Conspiracy announced the addition of their first non-binary sponsored athlete to their team. Benny Gonzalez, also known as Damn Benny on Instagram, is a multi-talented rider regardless if it's on a skateboard or a bike. They just absolutely shred. Congrats to everyone, and especially the brands who are making BMX a more inclusive environment. So I first became aware of Benny with this video here, non-binary, and I'll be honest, I didn't know at all that the non-binary meant anything. I just watched the video, to be honest, and I feel that's how most people, if not everyone, should be. But now we see this news joining Subrosa and all of that. I wanted to kind of talk about it because I don't think that the non-binary part of this thing should mean anything in regards of riding a bike and being sponsored. And when you look at this video right here, you can very clearly see that this person, Benny Gonzalez, deserves to ride for Subrosa and Shadow, and that at the same time, they're bringing in this new, making BMX a more inclusive environment at the same time. I think sometimes in the world, people put the things like the non-binary thing first before the talent on a bike. And when it comes to riding and in the BMX world, I don't know that that exists, but I'm glad to see someone like this who absolutely 1000% purely based on their skill on a bike deserves to be where they're at. 100%. There's no denying that at all. I haven't met Benny, but I've met people at Subrosa and Shadow, and I know that they would not put someone on their team who doesn't deserve it, who isn't a good person, who isn't anything like that. So this is my take on this and kind of trying to talk reason into the people who have anything negative to say about that. I hope that no one would have anything negative to say about it, because yes, there are situations when you see someone out in the world, maybe not in BMX, who you're like, wow, they're only in that position because of the fact that they are that non-binary. And that's not the case here. You watch that video, you see that Benny absolutely shreds, and you could just be happy for that. And then it's cool that someone else who might be in the same position can look up to someone like Benny and be like, wow, look, if I work hard and I get good at riding, then I could go and do the exact same thing. And I think that's really cool. So props to Subrosa and Shadow for making this happen. Props to Benny for making it happen by just being, I'm assuming, a good person I haven't met. But props for being good on your bike, being a good person, and getting onto Subrosa and Shadow, because if you look at their team, they definitely do not have people who are just not good people on their team. So that being said, watch this video, linked in the description down below. Check out the Bloom BMX, great website as well. This video right here is awesome. It's very long, but it's worth the watch. And then next we've got some more sponsorship news. Premium Casey Starling. Welcome to Premium Casey Starling. He was announced to be off of merit earlier in this year. You know what? You're right, Kurt. I want to say that too. BMX has always been for everyone. And that's kind of the whole point of what I wanted to say with that. And I love that we can see things like this happen so that other people can see that BMX is absolutely for everyone. And that if you work hard enough and you progress enough and you just love riding your bike, because clearly you can see that Benny loves riding their bike, good things can happen. That being said, Casey Starling is wild. And Premium definitely seems to be making a comeback, as Travis has just said. I support anyone that's cool. Basically, as long as you're not a dick and you're not an asshole, you're an awesome person riding your bike. So that's good. So, Casey used to ride for merit. They dropped him or he quit. I can't remember which one earlier this year. I believe they just parted ways, and now he rides for Premium. And I don't know how long it took them to make this video, but there's some really good riding in this video. That being said, watch it. I feel like my brain is mush right now and I can't talk. But there's some really good riding in here. There's a one flat rail clip that I wanted to play because it's freaking wild. It didn't make any sense. Oh, he does a couple flare to fakies in here too that just are insane. I can't find it. We'll just play whatever this clip is. This next clip is wild. This backlash is like, there's no room for error there. It was absolutely perfect. Casey is incredible at riding his bike. It seems like he's the kind of person that could just do anything he wants to do when riding. It just oh, there's what I want to do. Boom, boom, easy, done. The last clip, I'm not going to actually play it. But, yo, JDA with the super chat. You can see right here, there's like a 1.5 foot tall kicker thing. He just flared fakie off. It was crazy. Thank you, JDA, for the super chat. Watch this video. I've talked about it enough. Tom Justice at Asylum Skate Park. We're getting into the videos from this week now. And this is one. It's 1.5 minutes long. And it's got almost everything that you could want in a park riding edit in all in one video. Hitching post riding, lip tricks, it's got jumping, transfers in a bowl, just about everything you want. Park like flare tricks too. Tom Justice may very well be the most well-rounded rider in all of BMX. He could kill it everywhere. We haven't seen street riding from him, but when you're this good, it doesn't matter. You could do anything you want. It's very clear to see, and I don't think very many people would disagree with that. The only thing we need to know, we don't really need to know this, but are the dreads the superpower? Everybody used to have dreads back in the day. What up, Noah McBride? Noah, how you feeling after the power hour on Sunday? I rode on Monday, and my body is wrecked. I tried to ride last night, and it was not good. I felt like I was just going to get sick, and it was all bad. Still a good session, but not. I left early. Next video, Mike Mastroni, Industrial Eyes. So this video, the caption here says, it's been a good 3 years since we saw a fresh part from Sunday's Mike Mastroni. Mike Mastroni rides for Sunday now. But that didn't mean he was sleeping. Watch this video. There's 2 videos that I really wanted to talk about this week. It's these 2. They're not in order from shortest to longest with these 2 because these videos are incredible. When you can ride and have a park like that, why would you want to ride street? You're right. Andy lives in the UK where it's always raining, so there's that too. There's so many incredibly creative spot uses just like that. And you've seen in previous videos with Mike Mastroni where you can tell that like he set this spot up. You could tell he built the spot. In this video, there really isn't that. You've got spots like this where you could potentially like have set things up, but in order to like fake that, not fake, obviously it's not fake, but in order to set that up yourself and build all of it would take so much effort. Things like this you can't set up. And I think that the fact that all of this video is this way and that it all seems to be things that are found spots that may be a little bit modified, I don't know, you can't tell, is just so awesome. This video rules. This is definitely my favorite video of the week, and there's one clip that's been floating around Instagram everywhere, not this one, but this one, in the wishbone area of the frame. Absolutely insane. I've never seen anyone land like that. Total, it's just amazing. And his quote in here was something along the lines of, it's not here, but it was over on Dig, where there is an interview with Mike about all of this. So I'll link that in the description below after the stream, where it says something like, if you wait long enough, the right spots will come. You could definitely tell from watching this video. Such a good video. Next, Alex Hiam. This is where we get from shortest to longest at this point. Alex Hiam and Lux BMX Dig Reader exclusive. Not sure what the title means because I didn't see anything about Dig here, but Alex Hiam, for the first few clips in this, is hitting some rails and getting street, and it's cool because most of the time when we see Alex, he's doing stuff like this, you know? So it's really cool to see at the beginning of this one where he's doing rail rides to tail whip out and other street stuff too. It's just, you can see how well-rounded and talented he is at riding, and it's awesome, and it's only 1 minute and 6 seconds. Next up, Source BMX Distillery, quick interlude by the Alienation Venus, available right now. Go get one. Source BMX Distillery Bullseye Brock Rayford. This is the quick video where he throws a dart at a dartboard full of spots and then goes and rides it, and it seems like it was probably extremely freezing outside. He cut a hole in that train wagon, I'm super sure. Definitely. He definitely cut that hole. In the interview, it says that he just happened to come across it, and it's incredible. Quick video with Brock Rayford riding a street spot in what seems to be like negative weather. Then we got Garrett Williams riding concrete skate parks, going high, doing tabletops, completely raw video, no music or anything. This is for all the people who want go fast riding concrete skate parks. Then we've got Gasper Gwendolyn in the Patagonia streets. This is for all the Gasper Gwendolyn street technical riding lovers out there. Then we got a jam recap, the Full Moon BMX jam from Ride UK BMX. It's good to see Ride UK BMX back and doing things again. For a long time there, they were kind of low-key under the radar. Now, seems like they're back in pretty much full force. Not doing monthly magazines, but they did release an issue. Next up, we've got another distillery video from Source BMX with Brock Rayford. This is his lock-in video where he didn't bring his bike. He just brought a duffel bag full of clothes or whatever, and then built one of the Dark Wave Authentic bikes from Sunday that was at the Source warehouse and rode that in the video and did it just like he would on his own bike that he rides on a daily basis because it is his own bike. Dark Wave Authentic is a pretty sweet bike. They are really good. The insoles are amazing. What are we talking about insoles for? Next up, Colt Chad Curtis 2022 Death Bog. That's all you gotta say. Hand on the peg, not the seat, and a T-bog. This dude rips, and there's so many good clips in here. He did a double chain hop where he was jumping down a stair set where there was a chain across the top between the two hand railings and a chain across the bottom, and jumped over both of them. Some gap to like tire tap 180s or gap manual 180s, however you want to look at it. that were super far. And in general, it's just a really good video. Stuff like this, like to over fakie, that was one of my favorite clips in the whole video. Oh, the Vans, I didn't see the Vans cult shoe, must have been on there. Marty Laneville and Chris Patrick Tilk, no coincidence. His video's up on Dig's YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It's getting a little longer, still not long though. Oh, insole in group, gotcha. Next, we've got Nate Vandenberg, Sunny. And all you need to know about this one is this thumbnail. He is going from the roof into this bank right here. And you can see how large that gap is. What is right? So insane. And I didn't know who Nate was before this video, but there's riding from literally all around the entire country in here. He goes from being at Woodward in Pennsylvania to having clips in Florida, because you can tell it's the brick quarters in Florida, and just really well-rounded at riding in here. Even's got a couple dirt clips in here. He's flipping a dirt jump in this video, riding street, skate parks, all kinds of stuff. So good. Next up, Weird and Revered, Justin Schwanke, one-man show. This video is technically, it's like 5 minutes long, and then there's some behind the scenes type stuff at the end with credits and things of that nature. But what I loved about this video is the fact that I could see like some of my own thinking in this one, in that like you find this thing that you want to do. For example, let me find a good example here. So you find this spot. Right here's a good example. After this fakie, you find this spot where you're like, oh cool, it's a bank, I can do something on it. So he does a nice brakeless backlash type 5 tap type thing. It's like, oh, but that's cool and everything, but like it feels like it needs more. And that's how I think all the time I do something. I'm like, it kind of feels like it needs something else to it. So then he does this out of it. Does that quick slider fakie through the fence gate and then pulls it back around. And so there's things like that for almost every single clip where you can tell he's just thinking things through to the next level and just adding to it, that taking it to the next step further. And it's pretty much like that through the entire video. Like this one is a really great example. I'll just play this clip too. So you're like, oh cool, it's this jibby type setup. Then you see he backs away and there's more to it. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's faking out back through it super far. I can only imagine how hard it is to get that balance. And it's really, really cool to see that thinking and taking things to the next level in a video, especially this long. Normally, you know, it's not easy to make a long video like this, especially when you're taking things like up another notch from there, from like your first, or from an idea and then just adding on to it. So this is definitely one I would recommend, and it's a bit longer if you want to check that out. Real quick here before we move into the product related things this week, somebody said, Brant, the Mike Spinner podcast on the sponsorship aspect made me think, what about some health/fitness input from riders who train? I'm a 30-year-old BMXer and would like to ride till I'm 80, but have no idea about fitness routines. BMX specific training must be a thing amongst pros. I could ask someone like Nick Bruce, because it seems like he trains for BMX, and I can't remember if we talked about it. I did do a live stream thing with Nick talking about food, eating, and different health type things. I can't remember if we talked about that or not. I feel like we would have had to have. So if you go back and watch the thing I did with Nick Bruce, the live stream, it's got to have some type of title surrounding what we talked about. I'll pull it up after I talk about these last things. Inside profile racing, what it takes to make a polished hub. Man, I wish I would have had one of these whenever I polished a hub myself. I've done this before myself, pretty much by hand, other than using a drill rigged it up myself. There's a video on it. It sucked. It was really cool to see the process that they go to. Next up, Josh Dove's Flybike Sierra. It's a quick bike check with Josh Dove, aka Dovey from Australia. Kid is incredible, and if you've never heard of him, somehow just do yourself a favor and go and watch some of his videos. Incredible. There's some questions about his bike here, as well as traveling and what comes next, and then a list with pictures of all the parts on his bike right here. Next up, got an interview with Brock Rayford on the Unclick podcast, breaking down his strike video part. I haven't had a chance to listen to this one, but I'm sure it's good. Brock is super professional and always well worded and good with interview type things like this, so I'm sure it's a good one. And check it out if you want to see some behind the scenes on his strike video. So let me find it over here real quick and I'll pull it up. How to feel better on your bike, talking health and BMX with Nick Bruce. Look at that. See? An hour and a half with Nick Bruce talking about exactly the topic you were looking for. I got you. I got you. He looks thrilled here. I definitely would like to get Brock on, and I think he'd be down. I think all I'd have to do is ask him. We'll just have to see. That being said, though, my brain has been scrambled for this entire stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. I may upload a couple shorts today, not totally sure, but yeah. That being said, check out Benny Gonzalez's video. Very good riding. Good to see someone like that getting support, and hopefully it opens more doors into the future. Did you see Corey Bergler learning the spine hand plant? Yes, that was brutal. That being said, everybody, I'm going to get some breakfast, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Oh, shout out to this shirt my grandma got me for Christmas. Make sure you can see it. Where's it at? Here, I'm going to make it bigger because I'm stoked on this. This is the street style BMX Extreme. Thanks, Grandma. See you tomorrow, everybody.